I'd like to take this moment to recognize and honor the Anderson and Abruzzo families. If there are any family members here right now today, if you can stand in recognition, we'd like to give you a hand for sharing your legacy with us. Anderson and Abruzzo families, please stand. Since the inception of the museum has a long time had the partnership of the city. And we could not be doing it without the Anderson and Abruzzo families and the city. And even more importantly than just having a partnership with the city, it's important to have advocates. And we could not be more thrilled than to have the support and just side-by-side advocacy from our mayor. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce to you, once again, our fabulous mayor, Albuquerque's Mayor, Tim Keller.
Oh, well, it's good to be back up here as well, and so thank you for indulging a little double dipping here, but these were two great ceremonies, and I'm honored just to share a few remarks, too, about our inductees. And first, I do want to acknowledge all the trustees, because I know we have several. Raise your hand if you're a trustee or past trustee. Round of applause to everyone who's stewarded throughout the years this museum. And so for me, you know, I was thinking a little bit about some of our inductees, but also about what ballooning is with respect to also this city. And number one, it's a tremendous honor to have the International Hall of Fame here. And so that's very special. And so I want to thank everyone who made that happen historically, and also recognize everyone who's in the Hall of Fame, and of course our two inductees that we're going to announce here shortly and hear from. Now, for our city too, you know, most of you know, we have quite a long history, at least for an American city. And our history goes first off, of course, to time immemorial with our Pueblo communities. And then, you know, with our Hispanic heritage that came up and ran this neck of the world for several hundred years. And then we go into sort of statehood and so forth. I mentioned this just brief journey in time to share with you that ballooning has now sort of taken its place in this journey. And so each, you know, sort of group of individuals historically who have lived here and inhabited this space has left a strong legacy in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And that's why we often call ourselves the city at the crossroads. And we like to say that each culture that's been here has left its stamp and it hasn't gone away, which is why we celebrate our vibrant Native American community that's still here and with us and all around us. And also why we celebrate our Hispanic heritage that is alive and well. And so when you kind of fast forward to sort of the next wave, I think, of stamps that are on this place, you get to an interesting confluence of international balloonists, of also, look, the reality is statehood, Anglos coming here, and the base, the labs. And these things came together, of course, in our history, the history of ballooning, which is well articulated there, where locally it was mostly scientists who were sort of tinkering and hobbying, learning what was going on abroad, especially in Europe, and saying, hey, let's do hot air ballooning here. And so once again, we see that city at the crossroads. But in this case, the crossroads of science and technology, but also aeronautics and ballooning. And so for us, this is the next wave in a long story of a city at a crossroads that has retained some of the best of as we continue to grow and mature through time. So for us, ballooning is now a symbol of who we are. And that's why it's so special that we have two new inductees this year, and that we remember all of the history that comes with it. And part of that history is, of course, the design of the balloon. Something that many of us take for granted. I think this audience does not. But our two inductees this year, Neil and Alish, I think I got that name right. I know it's Czech. So, thank you. All right. So, you know, these two, first off, I've seen, right, whether it's the association, Neil, with Cameron balloons, or it's Kubicek balloons. I've seen those names on balloons my whole life, right? And I've actually sort of been fascinated how there's like two main companies make balloons. And, you know, but when you sit there high up in the sky, right, And we've all, I think everyone here has been in a balloon, I'm going to guess, right? And we've all felt this moment. You're way up there. And you look down, and there's just little dots, you know. It's silent, right? And all you hear, sometimes, is the creaking of that basket, right? That wicker, like going back and forth. And then you look up at that envelope, and you're just like, I can't believe this is holding me in the sky. And that, to me, is still, like, it is a miracle. It is a miracle of science. It's a miracle of nature, but it's also, weirdly, a miracle of fabric, which these two inductees understand, probably more than almost anyone else. And so the fact that now we can take this for granted, that every balloon more or less flies fine, that's something that these two individuals, I'm sure, never knew and did not in their time. So for me, this is a great connection to that story of ballooning, but also to that personal experience and to what it takes to actually make that happen. And so today we honor, of course, as pilots, both Neil and Alish, but also as designers and engineers and as business folks who enabled us, including my own crew, which is, they're great. The Sunflyer, amateurs, great local balloonists, former scientists from the labs. But you know, they're able to buy a balloon that flies and not have to worry about everything else in between because of these companies. And of course, there's Special Shapes, which is just a miracle on top of miracles that we can see, you know, three bees holding hands in the sky, and somehow all that works. And so we're just so grateful to honor Neil Robertson and Alish Kubicek today and welcome them to the hot air balloon. And I can't do the French, the CIA Balloon Hall of Fame. So congratulations on behalf of the city, and thank you for all you've done all across the world for ballooning, and also for ballooning here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Thank you.
Someone's going down on those today. Don't put money on me, please. I'm not going down. Thank you so much, Mayor Keller. It really means the world to us that you would be here today and that you come to so many of our events and you support what's going on here. And, you know, it's great to hear your stories of chasing. We know the ones you tell, but a good friend of yours has served with us on the trustees board, and we get to hear the even spicier ones behind the scenes. So thank you for your involvement with ballooning, because really it makes a difference. You have a passion for ballooning in this community, and we appreciate you. So thank you for taking time to be here today. There's so much happening in the museum as, thank you, Mayor Keller. There is so much happening in the museum. I remember when we started almost 20 years ago, when we first, the Hall of Fame induction had been going on. It's going on now for almost 30 years. And when it moved over here to the Albuquerque Museum, I mean, if you were you here in the beginning when we would recognize our Hall of Fame inductees inside? We started with one row of chairs, and then we had 2 rows. And I know some of you were there. You remember. And look at us now. And part of our success is because of our leaders. And now we have our leader, our museum director, Nan Maslin. Thank you, Nan, for your leadership.
Thank you. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you for your service to the board. Be careful with those stairs. I'm going to put it on my list that we need a new mic stand. So thanks for bearing with us with the audio quality. A lot of folks have been acknowledged this evening, and there is a critical component of all strong organizations, and that is their support organization, that are advocates, there are champions, they're building relationships in the community. They are working hard behind the scenes and not often in front of the camera or up on the podium. And that is our Balloon Museum Foundation and our board of directors for the Balloon Museum Foundation. So if you all would please raise your hands if you are a foundation member, board member. Thank you all so much. And then we also have some of our staff. The staff of the foundation is in the back. It's just a tremendous group of people that make this place what it is. My job is to welcome you but I feel like you all already feel very welcome. So with that, I would like to turn it back over to Cindy, who will be introducing our president of the FAI. Yes, so be careful.
Please note how I take those steps. It is not very demure, okay? It's a little rough. It's rough. Some of those landings you're going to have. Actually, this week, the landings look spectacular, like they're going to be, right? Am I jinxing it? I mean, the weather, it's looking great. I see some more faces, friends who have joined us. So exciting seeing you. It's like our own private little party. It's great. You know, there's some people it's difficult to say no to. You know, those people who might be out there on the field scoring your son when he comes in for targets, right? I mean, how do you say no to those people when they ask you to come up and introduce them and Hall of Famers and all that big stuff? Time now for me to introduce to you your president of the FAI and CIA, my friend, your president, Mark Sullivan. I'm bracing for you. You can't go down because I'm not going to do your job.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Nan, Mayor Keller. Cindy's doing a good job. Our main speaker, Jock Sokup, got sick and couldn't come, so that's why we're filling in and doing the best we can with this. And on behalf of the FAI Ballooning Commission, I'd like to welcome everybody and thank everybody for attending. And some of you may be asking, what is the FAI Hall of Fame and how do you get here? And to give you an idea, there's 93 countries who are members of the FAI. And the countries who have ballooning as part of their membership in the FAI are entitled to nominate one person each year to go into the Hall of Fame. But this is a little more complicated than that because it's a two-phase process. First, you nominate it into the Hall of Fame pool. And the pool consists of 3 members from the museum and 3 members from the FAI Ballooning Commission. And then out of that pool, which there's probably 20 people sit there at a time, 2 people are selected each year. And 1 living, 1 posthumous. So when you get to this level, you are the top of the top. So these people we're inducting are the cream of the crop. So that's how the process works in case you was wondering what it takes to get here. I'd like to thank the museum for giving us such a home for the FAI Ballooning Commission's Hall of Fame. They do a marvelous job to house all the characters we vote in here each year. And, you know, Jim Winker's one of them. And, you know, I guess dividends pay off. I mean, look at this donation they made. This Winker family is marvelous. We love them. So Jock told me I have to keep this to 32 minutes altogether. So I'm going to introduce one of my old friends from 30-something years ago, Ishmael Carmaminga. Is that got it? Come on up, Ishmael. He's going to talk about Neil Robertson, and they go way back too. And he'll get the pronunciation correct.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Mayor, Mr. President, and my dear friends, it's really a big honor to be here this evening. A bit sad not to have Neil, of course. It's really, really sad. I wish to have him here just beside me and, celebrate everything together. So let me introduce myself as Mark told. My name is Ismail Karamoğlu. I'm from Turkey. We met with Neil in 1995 in the CIA meeting in Paris. So after that, we came together, and the CIA appointed us to organize the World Air Games Ballooning Championship in Cappadocia. So I was the responsible person. Neil was my advisor, but he became more than advisor. He became like my father. We end up in very different ways. So we did a very good job together, and in the World Air Games ballooning championship. After that, of course, he fell in love with Cappadocia, even before, actually, before the championship. He bought a land, we built his house, and so we start to stay more and more in Cappadocia, and then one day we say, okay, why not we are not having a balloon company? So we created our balloon company, which is Sultan Balloons, and so we were the happiest people in the world because we have balloons to fly every day. Then he bought a beautiful swan balloon because in his house in the garden he had swans in the they were living there. He said, okay, it will be a swan balloon, beautiful blue balloon with a swan on it. So he named it. We took the registration number Bravo Echo November, which was the name of grandson. So we made it family, and so we really had a lot of fun together. We went to many places to fly with balloons just for adventure, and we did crazy things together. And so, yeah, sometimes it's difficult to explain everything, really. I mean, this is one of the moments. The words are not enough to explain what we did together with him. I'm really, really thankful that he was in my life, and he was really my mentor, and he introduced me to the ballooning world. He opened the doors, and here I am. So I'm really honored to be here again, to see old friends here, old faces, really. And of course, Albuquerque. I mean, my gosh, I was here in year 2000, 24 years. Now I'm looking to every single corner. Oh, what is this? What is that? It's beautiful. It's just wonderful to be here. And thank you so much for everybody who helped with the museum. It's just unbelievable. I mean, nothing to say more. Really beautiful. And so again, thank you to the CIA for the members who nominate and of course choose him as to be on the Hall of Fame. Thank you so much, and also for Neil, to everyone. Thank you. And now. So I didn't have that much time when I was called for this event, really. I'm working in the Masai Mara in Kenya. I fly with balloons there. So I flew all the way from Kenya to Italy, and then from Italy here. But in that short time, I tried to find many photos as much as I can. And I made a brief story, a small, short movie about me and Neil. So I hope you will like it. For Neil. Yep.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. Come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I would do, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it
about your way in the vibe is feeling strong, and what's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken, the love will never get lost. And when brotherhood come first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we reach, so remember me when I'm gone. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
Let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take will always lead you home. Oh, it's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Thank you so much.
Stay here, I gotta give you something. Well, Ishmael, that was a little modest. Neil Robertson was quite the guy. And to give you an idea of what goes on in Cappadocia, they fly 100 balloons there every single day. It's one of the major places to fly balloons in the world. Neil was also secretary of the CIA Ballooning Commission for many years and did a lot more than what than he explained. Like he said, he had a short time to put this together, but Neil's definitely deserving of this award, and I would like to give you this.
Thank you so much.
It's a little FAI award for the Hall of Fame. Thank you, Ishmael.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thanks.
you.
I'll
Thank
talk to you
all.
later. Okay, for our next inductee, I'm going to hope I get this right. Vada Vas, Mr. Peter Kubicek. Could you please come up? If I said that right, that's welcome in Czech. So he can tell me if I got that right, and I hope he's going to explain to you about.
Nearly. Well, they said to me that I should say something, so it's easier to say than do. Well, okay, ladies and gentlemen, dear balloonists and dear friends, it's as you can see, it's a very, very special moment. Not only to me, but to all our family, the whole factory team. This is an honor beyond any other to stand here up front of you. I'm super lucky, super happy to be here at the FAA Hall of Fame introduction. Yet my heart is torn apart as the one who should really stand here and talk to you is unable to do so. So please let me talk a few minutes about one of the most important persons in my life, living ballooning legend, balloon constructor, designer, manufacturer, instructor, visionaire, my father, Aleš Kubicek. Aleš was born in 1955 to very, very poor family. They literally got nothing. They've been living in the middle of communism misery, locked in the country with no freedom. Everything was super regulated, kept under control of secret police. Very difficult time for our country to live. And despite that, all these difficulties, my father, Aleš, with his family and friends, was able to firstly design and build first balloon, and later on set up the whole company, which now producing nearly 200 balloons annually. And you can see all the balloons flying all around the world, also in Cappadocia and Masai Mara, here in Albuquerque. And however, I don't want to talk about the factory history or about the factory itself. I will have a speech in the museum on Sunday about the factory history. And at this point, I just want to share a few memories about my father. By the way, about the factory history and my father's story, we have a few books back there. So if you are interested and you are quick enough, then you can have some. So please accept this little gift from us in the back. Well, I have to say, I mean, watching all the company development through my kids' eyes, and it looked everything so easy. It was all smooth. And there was no problems at all. Of course, it wasn't true. It was super difficult. I just didn't see it. But what I've been seeing is that my father's bright mind, bravery, infinite will, smile on his face, and especially his extremely hard work, which kept things always going. He was able to find a solution in every situation. And I have to say that for years I didn't know how special person is just next to me. I had no idea how lucky and privileged I am that I have a chance to talk to him every single day. Till I lost the opportunity in 2014 when he was seriously injured to his head and his professional career was suddenly ended. Well, my father was always visionary. He was seeing things 10 years ahead. And let me give you just two examples. At some point, long past, we got serious troubles in quality with our fabric. And at that moment, my father said, "It's so important that I have to make my own fabric." And everybody, including me, were saying, "You can't do it. It's impossible." And he said, "No, it will be all right, and it's very important, and it will be good." So 10 years after, when he built the company, the part which produced the fabric, well, if you look at the stand today, it's all about the Kubicek polyester fabric. So he was seeing this, why we did not. The other example is we bought an old chateau, a ruined chateau by the communist government. If we wouldn't do it, it wouldn't be there. So we bought it in very, very bad shape. And my father said, well, in 10 years' time, this will be a place where all balloonists from all around the planet will have a chance to meet and fly balloon here. And we were, yeah, of course, yeah. So in 10 years' time, and many of you already been to the castle, so you know what I'm talking about. There are people coming from all around the planet to talk to us, to fly with us there. So that was a specialty of my father. He was also a great pilot. He may not win any significant competition. He didn't get any world record yet, but his piloting skills was very special. And those who were flying with him, they're sharing the story still today. He was a very special pilot, very nature. For him to fly a balloon was like a walking for a normal person. He was also an instructor and learned to fly decades and decades of pilot. Beside ballooning, my father was a musician. He played piano, guitar, and surprisingly, 5-string banjo. He loved American country music because, you know, in the middle of communism era with no freedom to have to enjoy your music, we knew that the freedom is here. So it was very special for us to play music. Country music. He even composed several country songs, and I will not surprise you if I tell that the 5-string banjo he played, he built himself. Well, I have to say, my father gave me everything what I ever need to start my own career. I did not need to decide what I'm going to do because I was so impressed by the company he built that I said myself, well, this has to continue. So I never considered doing anything else. he always set me the best example. I have to say, yeah, every company, you running businesses, so you know that you're facing difficulties nearly every second day. And every time I'm in some sort of despair, not knowing what I'm going to do, all I have to do to finger my father and say, well, if he overcome the communism era and all these difficulties, well, I can handle this also. So then everything gets easier. And once as a kid, I said to my father, look at this pilot. I don't want you name him. How many world records he set, how many special flights he done, how many competitions he won. That's a pilot. What did you achieve? That's so stupid I was. Well, I didn't know that time, but I know now. Because history is not about breaking world records or winning world championship. It's about friendship, family, hard work, solving problems with no solutions, about infinite will to achieve something incredible. Well, many thanks to the Hall of Fame community for the recognition of my father, Aleš, making my father's inspiring story more visible to the community. And I really hope that his story will inspire many people to come. Thanks to the factory team and the whole ballooning community making this very special moment possible. And many thanks to my father, Aleš, for everything he ever did for me and for us. Thank you all, and see you soon in the sky.
Very nice, Peter. Thank you. Very nice. I have a little something for you also.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of these floating around. So.
I know.
Here you go.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very well deserved. And if you ever get a chance to go to this chateau where he's at, it's the best flying area in the world. It's absolutely spectacular fly, so I'd recommend it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, go there.
You're all welcomed. Stop by the booth for details.
So,
Yeah.
thank you, Peter.
Okay.
Let me see who's next on the agenda here. Up, our MC. I'll hold it for you.
Good thing I haven't had any of this yet.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for holding that. Now, really, what would ballooning be without champagne? Welcome back, Nan.
Thank you. I want to make sure that everyone has a glass before we start. This honor usually goes to my boss, Director of Arts and Culture, Dr. Shel Sanchez, but she couldn't be here this evening. She is at another event. She sends her best regards and her notes for giving an excellent toast at the end of the Hall of Fame, and I will do my best to propose a toast. And she would start off, and I'll start off by saying, I know you all are very good at drinking champagne. So we're gonna do sips. We're not gonna drink it all at once. And let's just take a practice. And we're just gonna take a little sip to start.
We gotta do it clink.
Clink. And this will give us a moment to make sure that everyone who wants one has a glass in hand. We have such a helpful lot. All right. Does everyone have a glass? Yes? Almost. Okay. I would like to ask the friends and family of Neil Robertson to please rise if you are able and remain standing. Let's raise a glass to the adventure, leadership, dedication, incredible accomplishments of Neil Robertson. We celebrate his entrepreneurial spirit and his service to the FAI. We honor his lasting impact on the sport of ballooning and the service to the spirit of ballooning. To Neil. To Neil. I'd ask the friends and family of Aleš Kubicek to stand, to rise, and please remain standing if you are able. Yes, you can still, yes. The idea is we're going to get everybody standing by the end. Spoiler alert. Friends and family of Aleš Kubicek, I invite you to raise your glasses and salute the leadership, adventure, visionary spirit that he brought to ballooning in his home country. Today, we celebrate his contributions as an advocate, adventurer, and trailblazer for the sport and spirit of ballooning. To Aleš. To Aleš. Cheers. If you would please remain standing. If you are an inductee, if you are a friend or loved one of an inductee, I ask you to rise. We're going to get everybody standing, remember? So keep standing if you've already risen. All right, so now we have all of the folks who are related or are an inductee, all standing. Look around for just a moment. To all of you, to the legacy of previous inductees, the inspirational legacy they have built, and to the future inductees, to balloonists. All right. If you have traveled from another country or from outside of the state to be here today, please rise. I told you we were going to get everybody standing. All right, and if you are lucky enough to call New Mexico your home, please rise. All right, look at all of you beautiful people. And finally, to the sunrises and sunsets, balloon-filled skies, and the play of the celestial bodies, here is to the magic, beauty, and joy in our Albuquerque skies during the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, this 52nd year. To Balloon Fiesta. Balloon Fiesta. Thank you all for coming to our Hall of Fame ceremony. I hope you have a wonderful Balloon Fiesta.